Gombe government inaugurates implementation committee to end farmer-herders conflict. Gombe government hands over road project contractors target improved connectivity and infrastructure. Izala cleric urges Muslims to respect and pray for leaders and scholars. A very good evening, viewers. Welcome to 25 News Reports. I am Sharon Pane with the news bulletins. The Gombe State government has inaugurated a high-powered implementation committee aimed at addressing the recurring conflicts between farmers and herders across the state. The committee is mandated to implement the recommendations contained in a white paper earlier produced by an investigative panel chaired by a former Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG Zubairu Muazu. Correspondent Umar Shaibu reports.
The implementation committee is chaired by another retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG Sunday Babaji. The committee comprises representatives from security agencies, the judiciary, land administrators, traditional institutions, farmers association and herders groups. Inaugurating the committee at the Government House, Governor Muhammad Inwa Yahya said the move reflects the state government's renewed commitment to finding lasting solutions to the long-standing farmer-herders clashes. He noted that the conflict have largely been driven by dispute over land use, encroachment on grazing and forest reserves, and the disappearance of traditional cattle routes.
Leaving things to continue the way they are will really solve our problem. Rather, we look back, ensure that what has been done before that saved the situation is restored, and we move forward so that our people will now have a peace of mind, and they will not be amongst those that fall victims in either way, either as the herders or as the farmers, or in fact as Nigerians, because whenever such things happen, you wouldn't know. Somebody else that could not even be part of the two could fall victim. And at the end of the day, it is the Nigerian economy, the Nigerian people, and the Nigerian nation that suffers. So this government took that bold decision and set up this committee. After that committee submitted its report, we took it to the Executive Council.
The governor explained that the committee's key responsibilities include the restoration and physical demarcation of grazing reserves and cattle routes, the development of a phased implementation roadmap, and ensuring that all actions are in line with existing laws, particularly the Land Use Act. Governor Inwa Yahya stressed the need to transition from outdated livestock management practices, restore peace to affected communities, and safeguard lives and livelihoods.
To oversee the systematic implementation of all the recommendations of the assessment committee approved by the White Paper Committee in order to ensure the sustainable management, protection and restoration of our grazing reserves, forest reserves and cattle routes in Gombe State. He assured the committee of the government's full support in implementing its recommendations. In his acceptance remarks, the chairman of the committee, AIG Sunday Babaji, thanked the governor for the confidence placed in him and the members of the committee. He described the assignment as a privilege and an opportunity to serve the state and the nation, pledging that the committee would carry out its duties with fairness and diligence.
Naturally, we are going to be meeting stakeholders. And you know, part of the committees also, we have the Mieti, we have the farmers, we have the traditional rulers, security agencies. So we are good to go.
He added that preliminary consultations had already begun among members, with a comprehensive strategy meeting scheduled to commence immediately. Commenting on the committee readiness and commitment, the Director General, Gogis, Dr. Kabiru Usman, said the agency had already captured all grey areas on its database.
We did the survey work for the entire Gombe State in terms of these cattle routes, and there are so many illegalities, encouragement. So now this committee will start working on how to handle this issue, how to find the lasting solution of this problem that has been happening for the past decades.
Shaibu Umar, GMC News.
Shuaibu, thank you for that report. The Gombe State government has officially handed over project sites for the construction of road networks in key parts of the state to two construction firms. Datum Construction Limited received the site for the construction of internal road networks within the 550 family homes estate along Kano Road, including a link road connecting Tufre in Gombe. Meanwhile, Swans Grade Company Limited was awarded with the contract for the construction of road networks and other essential facilities at the Quata Charity Foundation site along the southern bypass in Gombe Metropolis. Speaking at the handing over ceremonies held at the respective project sites, the State Commissioner of Works, Housing and Transport, Dr. Usman Mejama Akallamu, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Alhaji Naladi Adamu, said the Family Homes Estate Home Road Project, awarded at the cost of 7.097 billion naira, is expected to be completed within 8 months as stipulated in the contract agreement. Dr. Mejama added that the Quata Charity Foundation Road Project, awarded at the cost of 714.3 billion naira, is expected to be completed within 4 months to ensure optimal use of the facility for the benefit of the people of Gombe State. He charged the contractors to adhere strictly to project specifications, stressing that Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya would not tolerate substandard work. In their remarks, Engineer Ibrahim Jar of Dadum Construction Limited and Engineer Awar Suleiman of Swans Great Company Limited expressed appreciation to the state government for the confidence reposed in their companies and pledged to deliver quality project in line with contractual agreements. Also speaking, the chairman of the Our Relief Organization, Gombe State, Dr. Muhammad Lawal, who oversees the Binzet Center at the Quata Charity Foundation, commended Governor Inuwa Yahaya for executing impactful projects, noting that the development would create an enabling and secure environment for students. It will be recalled that during its 51 and final session of the Gombe State Executive Council meeting for the year 2025, presided over by Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahaya at the Government House, approvals were granted for projects in education, infrastructure and other sectors across the state. The House Committee on Education on the Gombe State House of Assembly has announced plans to hold a public hearing on bill seeking to establish the Gombe State Education Development Trust Fund 2025. According to a press statement signed by the chairman of committees, Shuaibu Adamu Haruna, the public hearing is scheduled for Saturday 17th January 2026 at time 10 a.m. at the conference hall of the House of Assembly. The statement further disclosed that the Speaker of the House, Abubakar Muhammad Loggereo, is expected to declare the program open. The chairman noted that the hearing will be attended by the Commissioner of Education, Professor Aisha Tumegari, alongside with other stakeholders in education sector. He therefore called on all relevant groups, organizations and members of the general public to submit their written memoranda and contributions on the bill with the aim of providing an acceptable document for consideration and passage by the House at the end of the exercise. The Gombe State government has issued a strong warning against reckless driving and the destruction of public infrastructure across the state, particularly within Gombe Metropolis and its surrounding areas. The warning follows rising cases of road accidents, loss of lives, damage to public facilities, and destruction of private property linked to irresponsible driving and illegal road diversions. Speaking on the development, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Security Matters and Intergovernmental Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Musa Nambayo, said the notice is part of a public safety and sensitization campaign aimed at protecting human lives and preserving governmental infrastructure. He urged residents to remain vigilant and report any individual involved in reckless driving, violation of traffic rules, or unauthorized entry into restricted roads, especially areas affected by ongoing construction and developmental projects. Ambassador Dambayo specifically warned drivers of heavy-duty and articulated trucks to stay away from restricted roads and residential areas, including BAF 4 in the Shehu Abubakar district, the police headquarters, Command Junction, road through GRA and Jekara Ferry, as well as other official designated restricted roads within the Metro Police. He also cautioned against the willful destruction of public properties such as solar-powered street light, road barriers, culvert and drainage systems, stressing that any person found tampering with such facilities without approval from the Government State Urban Planning and Development Authority, GOSOPNA, will be sanctioned. According to him, the state government has constituted a standing task force committee on road infrastructure and solar street light, made up of security agencies, traffic officials, engineers, and relevant ministries to enforce compliance and prosecute offenders. He added that all violators will be arrested, prosecuted, and fined in line with existing law. The SSA called on all road users to drive responsible, obey traffic regulations, and operate with authorities to ensure road safety and a safer environment for all residents of Gombe State. Gombe State has concluded the screening exercise of candidates under the National Health Fellows Program, NHFP, a federal government initiative aimed at strengthening healthcare leadership and service delivery at the grassroots across the country. The two-day exercise was conducted by the Gombe State Ministry of Health in collaboration with the National Statewide Approach Program, SWAP, Coordination Office and Development Partners, including the World Health Organization, WHO, at the WHO Conference Hall in Gombe. Speaking to journalists, the Gombe State SWAP Coordinator, Dr. Abubakar Abdul Karim Sirajo, confirmed that the screening exercise has been concluded and that the result had been forwarded to the National SWAP Office for final consideration. He explained that out of the 33 shortlisted candidates, 30 participants in the screening, adding that the National Office would carry out the final selection of 11 health fellows, with one fellow to represent each local government area. The National Health Fellows Program is expected to deploy one fellow to each local government area in Gombe State to support monitoring, reporting, and accountability in health service delivery, with the aim of strengthening the state's healthcare system at the grassroots level. The executive chairman of Duk local government area, Alhaji Adamu Muhammad Waziri, has commended the Duk local government water relief supply committee for their dedication and commitment to duty. According to a press statement from the local government information officer, Kabiru Masu Muhammad, said the chairman gave the commendation during an oversight visit to various areas within Duk town to assess the performance and impact of the committee's activities and express satisfaction with the committee's diligent work, noting that residents of Duk local government have continued to call and commend the effective delivery of water relief services, particularly in addressing water shortage across the area. Alhaji Adamu Muhammad Waziri further disclosed that his administration will put in place measures to provide 4 additional trailer-mounted water tankers to supply water supply, especially during the critical months of March and April, when water scarcity is usually severe. In his remarks, the head of works, Duk local government, Alhaji Jamilu Abubakar Alkali, thanked the executive chairman for the support and confidence given to the committee without interference. He revealed that the committee has already repaired and maintained 4 local government water tankers, which are currently operational and giving communities across the local government area. Also speaking, the area officer of the government state water corporation, Malam Awal Abubakar, alongside the secretary of the Water Relief Supply Committee, Malam Abubakar Jodama, expressed their satisfaction with the cordial working relationship among all stakeholders. They described their collaboration with the head of works and other agencies as one family working towards a common goal. They appreciated the executive governor of Gombe State for his continuous support to the executive chairman, which he contributed to development effort in Duku local government. They also called on the people of Duku to continue supporting and cooperating with the committee to ensure effective service delivery. The speakers further commended the partnership between the power holding company and Duku local government, as well as the effort of information officers and the Gombe Media Corporation for effectively disseminating information to the public through electronic media. The registrar of Garkuwa School of Health, Science and Technology Gombe, Malam Abubakar Yahya Adamu, has praised the Gombe State government for its sustained support to the health sector. Malam Abubakar made the commendation while speaking to our correspondent at the school premises in Gombe and lauded the dedication and commitment of the students to their academic pursuit, appealed to parents to ensure the prompt payment of school fees to facilitate the smooth running of school activities.
Su daure duk abin da aka ce karatu ne yana da dan wani lokaci na wucin gadi, so su daure kuma su taimaka su ba mu haɗin kai wurin tattala abin da suka dan tara domin su biya kuɗi makaranta wa yaransu.
Also speaking, the school secretary Abdul Karim Hassan Hussein urged teachers to intensify effort towards delivering quality health education that will produce students are worthy ambassadors of the institution, and advise prospective applicants to ensure they have a minimum of 5 credit passes in their O-level examinations, include mathematics and English, particularly for science-based courses. Some students of the institution, Muhammad Sani Adamu and Halima Umar Abdullahi, expressed appreciation to the school management for equipping them with sound health knowledge.
Mai suna Garkuwa School of Health Science and Technology. Gaskiya alhamdulillah akwai ingantattun mallamai wadda suke zuwa suke koyarwa, suna iya kokarin su gaskiya akan abin da ya shafi koyarwa da kuma management din makarantar sukan ba da kokarin su don ganin cewa mallamai sun zo suna ba wa student ilimi.
Shawari na ga yan uwana mata ba laifi kan muna kokari sosai saboda malaman ma suna kokarin wajen su ga sun fahimtar da mu duk abubuwan da ya dace su koyar da mu. Shawarin da nake ba su gaskiya kar ana biye wa shashancin makaranta, ana mai da hankali sosai akan karatu, kar a biye wa kawaye da wayansu abokanai da wanda suke da.
They pledge to uphold the image of the school wherever they go and appeal to the state government to consider awarding them scholarships to ease the financial burden on their parents. And now to religious matters. The Deputy State Chairman of the Izala Council of Ulama, Sheikh Aliu Muhammad Bara, has called on Muslims to understand the importance of respecting and praying for leaders and Islamic scholars in society. Sheikh Aliu Muhammad made the call during a pre-sermon lecture at the Izala No. 1 Jumat Mosque located near the Gombe railway station. He said representing and praying for leaders and scholars is a way of appreciating their dedication and sacrifices towards the growth and progress of Islam. He expressed concern over what he described as the constant criticism of past leaders by some members of society, despite the risks and sacrifices those leaders have made to ensure the proper understanding and spread of Islam. According to him, many of the benefits currently enjoyed by Muslims are the result of the hard work and commitment of those leaders. The cleric noted that many of the past leaders have returned to their Creator, but their good deeds will continue to earn them reward even in their graves and on the day of judgment. He therefore urged Muslims to engage in actions that will benefit them in the year after. The Imam of the Izala Jumat Mosque, Tasharoka in Gombe, Malam Abdullahi Shuaibu, has urged Muslims to uphold truthfulness and all their promise and fear Allah in all aspects of life. Delivering Friday's sermon, Malam Abdullahi Shuaibu emphasized that honesty and fulfillment of agreements are essential for peaceful coexistence and societal development. He warned that dishonesty and breach of trust often lead to mistrust, conflict, and moral decline within society. The Imam called on worshippers to maintain the fear of Allah in their daily activities, particularly in business dealings, leadership roles, and interpersonal relationship, noting that consciousness of Allah promotes good character and moral discipline. He concluded the sermon by offering prayers for unity, peace, and moral uprightness within the Muslim community and the nations as a whole. Muslims again have been urged to avoid pride in all its forms and to ensure that their good deeds are carried out solely for the sake of God. The call was made by the Deputy Chief Imam of the ADP quarters Friday Mosque in Gombe, Alarama Rabiu Abubakar, during his Friday sermon. In his message, Alarama Rabiu warned that individuals who perform good deeds in order to attract praise from people rather than to seek the pleasure of God will not receive any reward from Almighty Allah. He explained that according to Islamic teachings, among the first set of people to be punished with hellfire on the day of judgment are those who fight in the name of religion for show, those who memorize the Holy Quran for recognition, and those who give charity mainly to impress others. The cleric cited examples from the lives of past Islamic scholars and righteous predecessors, noting that many of them counseled their good deeds and avoided public display. He therefore advised worshippers to dedicate all acts of worship and kindness purely to God. Alarama Rabiu Abubakar emphasized that the reward from Almighty Allah is far superior to human praise, stressing that worldly praise often ends in regret. With that, we come to the end of the news, but before we go, a quick look at some of the major stories that made headlines. We reported that the Gombe State government has inaugurated a high-power implementation committee to address recurring conflict between farmers and herders across the state. The committee is tasked with implementation recommendation contained in a white paper produced by an investigative panel led by former Assistant Inspector General of Police AIG Zubairu Muazu. We also reported that the Gombe State government has formally handed over project site for the construction of strategic road networks to Datum Construction Limited and Swans Grace Company Limited. The project includes international roads and a link road at the 550 family homes estate along Kano Road, valued at 7.097 billion naira with an 8-month completion timeline, as well as road networks and auxiliary facilities at the Qatar Charity Foundation site along the southern bypass, awarded at 714.3 million naira and is scheduled for completion within 4 months. Finally, the Deputy State Chairman of the Izala Council of Ulama, Sheikh Aliu Muhammad Bara, has called on Muslims to uphold respect and offer prayers for leaders and Islamic scholars. He made the appeal during a pre-sermon lecture at the Izala No. 1 Jumat Mosque near the Gombe railway station. Sheikh Aliyu stressed that respecting leaders and scholars is a way of appreciating their sacrifice and dedication to the growth of Islam. He expressed concern over persistent criticism of past leaders, noting that many of the benefit Muslims enjoy today are products of their efforts. That's the news. Thanks for watching. As for me, it's good night.